Geology in a Jiffy! What's in the bag? It's...
Volcanoes! A volcano is an opening in the Earth's crust that allows magma, hot ash and gases to escape from within. Magma is molten rock that comes from the mantle inside our Earth, this molten rock erupting through the crustal layer to the surface of the Earth. This happens at a weakness in the crust, enabling the magma to rise upwards until the magma meets the surface. But what happens at this point depends upon two things. The first is the frequency of eruptions, which is determined by the length of time, this being at about 10,000 years. A volcano that has erupted less than 10,000 years ago, and is expected to erupt again at any time, is said to be active. A volcano that has not erupted in the last 10,000 years, but is likely to erupt again after remaining inactive for a long period of time, is said to be dormant. A volcano that was active in the past, but has not erupted in the last 10,000 years, and is not likely to erupt in the present or the near future, is said to be extinct. The second factor that can affect what volcanic activity happens is the structure of the volcano, which is generally determined by the location of the volcano. There are two main types of volcano, these being shield volcanoes and composite volcanoes. A volcano's formation depends upon the convection currents deep within the mantle. When a cold liquid is heated, if we study how the particles move within the liquid, we can see circular-shaped convection cells mixing the contents of the liquid. If we study where two convection cells move apart in the mantle, with the magma being forced up and sideways, the crust that overlies this will be spreading apart, forming a constructive plate margin. As the magma in the mantle rises upwards and sideways, the overlying crust will split as it is pulled apart, allowing the runny magma to erupt at the surface, this magma continually erupting, spreading a long way as it does so, forming very gentle-sided and wide volcanoes called shield volcanoes, which are made from a basic magma, with basalt being a common example of this type of lava, basalt often being very runny, forming peihoihoe lava, which, because of its chemistry, and is erupting at about 1,200 degrees Celsius, it can flow a long way, producing lava flows that have a smooth and unbroken surface, solidifying with a ropey texture when the surface of the lava cools.
Wow!
This shield volcano is in Iceland, and shows the typical gently sloping flanks of the shield form of volcanoes. If we study where two convection cells rotate towards each other, the crust that overlies us will not be spreading apart, but instead will be colliding, causing the crust to shorten. This commonly happens where dense basaltic oceanic crust meets less dense continental crust at a destructive plate margin. As the two types of crustal plates move towards each other, the denser oceanic plate is slowly pushed down below the less dense continental crust, which causes the oceanic crust to melt and then magma to rise upwards through the continental crust, which, if we look at where this erupts from the surface, we see that the lava is not runny, it is viscous, so forms steeply sloped volcanoes called composite volcanoes, also known as stratovolcanoes. Strato meaning layer, with the volcano's flanks being made of alternating lava flows and layers of ash. Famous examples include Mount Fuji in Japan and Mount Etna in Sicily. Stratovolcanoes are often very explosive because the lava is very acidic, with rhyolite and andesite being common examples of such lava, these forming short, deep, slow-moving and blocky lava flows called R. This because the lava is very sticky or viscous, which can cause the vent of the volcano to become blocked, which can then cause the volcano to explode, as Mount St. Helens in America did in 1980, with the force of a nuclear bomb levelling over 150 square miles of tall trees and burying buildings and cars and, tragically killing 57 people, leaving the volcano shattered as we see it at the present day. In summary, we can classify volcanoes in two ways, by their frequency of eruption and by their shape, being either a shield volcano or a composite volcano.
Please subscribe to my channel. Bye!